and welcome to project number 10 of the 12 Outfits of Christmas overall project. If you saw my post about what the 12 outfits were going to be, you might know that this project was supposed to be an apron. It was going to be this one for that, all the baking and cooking that goes along with Christmas. However, things change, and I was scrolling the Facebook marketplaces and this ad pops up that says, free patterns, just want gone, come and get them. And I was like, well, okay then, I don't mind picking up free patterns. The more the merrier. And I now am the proud owner of 3 boxes more. It's not like I don't have enough patterns. Most of them were that 70s, 80s era, which, don't get me wrong, I love me some 70s patterns. They're wonderful. There were 6 or 7 proper vintage 40s, 50s patterns, which I was very excited about. And one of them just so happens to be a duster pattern from 1958. And I just thought that was a lot more exciting than an apron, while still essentially performing the same function. While it's probably a little more complicated in that it's got sleeves and buttons and facings and collars, okay, it's a lot more complicated, I still think this will be way more fun than an apron. So, with a change of project comes a change of fabric. If I can get Flynn off it, I will show you. Can I just a little corner of it? I just want a little corner of it. You can keep the rest. Don't eat it. So, if you've seen my Gunny Sacks dress, you might recognize this fabric. This is the other side of that quilt cover. So I made the Gunny Sacks dress out of the other side that had the squares with the flowers. Now I want to use the striped side with flowers for the main portion of this duster. However, the duster is a little bit fancy and has side panels in it. So these side panels, of course, you could do in the same fabric, but I want to do it a bit of a contrast, and I'm going to use this purple fabric because it's a similar weight to this one, which was that very light weight. So that's my feature panel. And yeah, that's pretty much all there is to it. Let's pull this pattern out of its packet and see if all the pieces are there, because I have not checked this. It is probably something good to know. I don't think I said what pattern number this was before, but it is a McCall's 4500, and it looks like all my pieces are here. I have just managed to get everything that needs to be on this fabric on it, and then I have a belt piece and a side panel piece that will go on my other fabric. So the first set of instructions is about sort of setting everything up, prepping the pockets by turning things in, and I think they stitch them on also, but they do have the dart indicated to be sewn. So I might pull out the front piece, which I've got sitting here, sew my darts, make sure all my markings are on there, and then prep my pockets and attach them, and then you move into the back section. Right, my pockets are pressed and prepped to go on my fronts, which have their dart in and pressed. So now I need to top stitch these onto a front panel each. have two functional pockets that are nice and big. I need to double check the instructions, but I believe the next step is to put the back panels together so that then I can attach the contrast side panel which goes in here. Do you like the pockets? Do you think they're good for holding treats? So my back pieces are together. Now I need to sew the front piece to the back piece, but only to this marking, because that's where the side panel will attach the rest of the way down. Just gonna do one side at a time. So I've got this side at the beginning pinned, and then it's fine down there. And then I've got to come in and do this side on there, and then there's a pleat bit in the middle that somehow ends up there. So here's where we're at. The first side panel is in, and I just need to press these seams to make them nice and crisp. I don't know if y'all are into musicals at all, but this is giving me pastel Joseph and his Technicolor Dreamcoat vibes. It's all I can think of when I look at this big expanse of colours in a coat. I have pressed these seams so they're sitting a little nicer. Now I just need to sew my shoulder seams while the iron's still hot so I can press them open, and then it's on to attaching collar and facings. We are onto the collar, which was cut on the fold. So now I need to open this out. This just gets folded in half, and then I just stitch the 1.5 on either side, turn it right sides out, and then attach it to the neckline. This is what my facing currently looks like. A collar with a hole in the middle. Basically, this gets flipped to there and then stitched all the way around. Now it's sewn, everything should flip right sides out. Alrighty, it is day 2 of this duster. We actually don't have too much left to do. I was just getting a bit frustrated last night and I decided to stop, give it a rest, because there's already things about this that are not quite as meant to be in the pattern because things were just frustrating me yesterday. I was having a day. So there's no interfacing anywhere in this, and there is supposed to be in the collar and the facing pieces in this front facing. But me and my interfacing were having disagreements, and I decided to just put it aside and move on. So today what I want to do is press and top stitch this facing into place, because there is no interfacing in there to sort of keep it where it needs to be. Let's turn the iron on and get everything in its rightful place so that I can then stitch it in place. Now I'm just going to tack down this collar facing at the seams. So there's the side seam, back seams, that it can just get tacked to so it will stay down. And then I think the instructions, this actually moves onto buttons. because I haven't raided the button stash yet, which can sometimes be a bit of a mission, I'm actually going to move on to the sleeves next, because I don't think that'll change trying to get buttons in later. So this is what this becomes. So that has just been rolled up and then folded to meet this first line. And then I just stitch along here. And then this all gets folded back to the outside to finish off the cuff to meet this line. Two cute little sleeves. Let's get them onto the duster. I just put my hem on. I just did a simple double roll. That is not what the instructions say. The instructions tell you to do like the full turn up and have a bit of a depth to the hem. But that is more work and I just want to get this done. So I love a simple double roll hem and that's what we've got. Finishing touches to this are the buttons and buttonholes in this front section and the belt, both of which require me to dig through the button stash because my buckles and D-rings are also in the same place. So I've decided to have some fun with these buttons and do multicolored. I figure if there was ever an outfit that deserved some fun buttons, it was this one. So I made sure they were all roughly the same size to make my life easier for buttonholes. But other than that, I just picked some like complementary-ish pastel shades. Let's mark the buttonholes and get them in. All my buttons are in, which means that technically this coat or house coat is finished, but there is a belt that goes with it, which is just these two strips sewn together, turned right side out and with a D-ring on one end, so it's not a fancy belt. And she's finished, belt, buttons, hem and all. And I haven't tried it on yet though, so I don't know what it's gonna look like on, but you know, it's got massive pockets, cute little cinched belt, multicolored buttons. I don't see how I cannot like it once I've got it on. But I'm gonna wait until tomorrow to show you guys and do the reveal because yeah, it's pitch black out there. No point twirling if no one can see it. I mean, there's always a point to twirling. That should be my motto in life. Twirl. Can you tell I'm a little delirious? All this sewing has gone to my head. And now, I guess the reveal.